Welcome to Mark's Motorsports and Farming channel. This video is the April channel update. Happy April Fool's Day. This is April 1st that I'm recording this. And then I suppose the coronavirus might have prevented some of you from pulling the type of prank that they might want to. Hard to say on that, but I'll get into that a little bit more towards the end of this video. How things I normally do are impacted by that. But for the first time in a while, I have a fairly short and sweet motorsports update for you. Because the last snowcross race that I was looking to go to and record for you guys ended up getting canceled because of the coronavirus. So therefore that regional race that I recorded the first day of March ended up being the last race of the season. And no motorsports coming up that I've seen, that I can see for the month of April. The two that I went to last year at the end of April, I don't intend to go to again, just because they didn't, both the dirt bike races and the car races, that I went to late in April a year ago did not seem very spectator friendly, so I don't intend to go to those again for that reason. So I'm thinking that the end of May would be the earliest time where there'll be a motorsports event that I can go to. I might find a little something earlier than that, but the first one that I know of that's tentatively scheduled is at the end of May. And then I'll get into that a little bit more in the May update video, and when I have a better idea of if it's still supposed to go on or not. So now, I came down here to show you guys that we have once again made some more progress on our firewood since the March update video. So yeah, with this row full now, will be equal to the amount of firewood that we've made most years, but like I've emphasized, we're looking to go all the way to that post where those pallets are stacked up against now. So yeah, this section of back row here, for lack of a better term, it's part of the expansion. Because normally because other years we'd stop stacking about where that gap is that I just zoomed in on. But yeah, we just cut up another tree, and I dropped it down, or cut it down, and my brother cut it up this afternoon, and then I hauled it all up here. And obviously part of what's already stacked is part of it as well, but the stuff that I was able to stack is stuff that's small enough to where we don't have to split it, whereas this stuff here, the chunks are big enough where we have to split them. So now I'll show you. And I'm going towards the area where that tree where we cut that tree down at is, as you'll see, we have 2 more of them down again that have to get cut up. And I did take the barbed wire fence down, or some of it, you know, so we could get in here to cut this all down. And then once in a while, what we run into is right where this one broke. And I was starting to, you know, cut it so to where the whole thing would be down, but when I started to cut it down, the chainsaw got jammed in there, so I didn't dare, you know, keep trying. You know, even the little bit that I did is, you know, just trying to spin the chain around, but it couldn't. So I just left it sitting, and it, you know, broke like that and came down itself, and then that time the chainsaw came out of there unharmed, whereas the one I showed you before, you know, that's already cut up. I was trying to that one I was trying to take the same approach that we normally do, you know, with getting them down. I tried to slice it in an area to, you know, to help the gravity bring it down, and then the saw got stuck, and then so then I had to grab one of the other saws that, you know, cut chunks away to free it up, and then the way that tree ended up falling, ended up wrecking the bar on the saw. So and that saw was, you know, down for a little while, and until we were able to get a new bar for it. And then yeah, I can't get close enough to show you where the stump is from that one, but anyway, we had this one down here, and well, technically 2 of them, because the other one would have been in the way. You know, might not let the bigger one fall the way that should. So yeah, there's one small one there, then there was a small one here, and it turns out that small one there seemed to be the only thing holding one of them up that I was looking to drop down anyway. And then when I cut that small one down, the bigger one here, there, I'll zoom in a little bit, the bigger one there ended up coming down by itself. And I don't remember that happening, you know, since we started getting into firewood, especially. This grassy area that I'm walking on right now, so you know, that needed to come down before the storm come along, and you know, one of us trying to get out of the way from it and have this one fall down. That would have been the worst case scenario there, but couldn't end up having a close call otherwise. So yeah, we don't really do firewood to get rich. You know, we mostly just, you know, do it as another way of, you know, having people get used out of which are otherwise dangerous situations. You know, where we'd have to, you know, cut something down in order to prevent something nasty from happening. or in the case of where we've been, you know, making most of the firewood, you know, we're trying to get all those out of there so we can crop farm that ground again. Have good growth, have good crop growth down there. So yeah, I think that's pretty well, you know, all there is right now for the firewood. You know, we are certainly making progress with that, which is good. And as far as farming goes, you know, it shouldn't be a whole lot longer, hopefully, before we're able to get out here and get some field work done. Yeah, the ground now, you know, I mean, looks dry on top, but yeah, you can tell right there, you know, it's still dark in a few places, you know, even in an area like that where we're basically able to till last fall. And then this is the last tillage video. This is the last tillage video that I did last fall. You know, I was trying to fight with the mud and grease and all that, trying to get this plowed. And you might notice at the end of my last few videos, you know, I've left a link to the previous one that I made, and this one I might try to put a few cards in. I'll see how that goes. So yeah, if I can, then I'll be, yeah, if I can, then I'll link you to the, you know, motorboard vlogging video that I referenced just a little bit ago. Zoom in on that as a place for me to look for it. And then we have started working on this disc ripper as well. Yeah, I also did a video on that as to, you know, what we found. But yeah, with miracle work, we were able to get one nut off of here. And actually, yeah, there's the nut right there. We had to make it paper thin in order to get it off of there, so you know, we can't use that nut again. We'll have to get a different one. Yeah, once we get the second nut off and take a few more bolts out, then we'll be able to, you know, put it back together, you know, getting it fixed. This trailer here is still currently disabled, which, you know, pretty soon I'll be able to finally attend to that, get it to where we can use it again. Yeah, here's John Deere manure spreader that about a couple weeks or so ago, and that was featured in a couple videos. And yeah, that'll be the first thing, is, you know, getting the ground, you know, where the ground will be firmed up enough to where we can at least drive across and get all the manure hauled out of the area where the cattle are in. And then when we come into the main shed here, the last video that I did before this one, I was able to get all the chains oiled down, and we were able to get the broken drive shaft fixed, so that you know, so that we have 12 rows planting this year rather than 9. And then that cylinder right there should not leak oil anymore, you know, because it's, you know, put a new O-ring in there, and that should be enough to solve the problem with that. And then this corn planter here, we want to hook on and, you know, move a little bit so that we can, you know, get to it better, and then I can oil the chains and grease all the circs on this. And so yeah, I'll do a couple of videos on this corn planter yet, and then the soybean planter, there's one more video I can do on that as well, you know, greasing the circs. And now, yeah, it's about all I know of that I can do videos on yet, you know, as far as getting stuff ready. And then yeah, the 8640 we have to get, you know, we gotta get it so we can shift it into any gear we want. Yeah, I guess that's all I know of for now as far as equipment that we have to get ready. You know, for spring planting, that is, because yeah, everything I've done videos on so far is, you know, we just make sure that the tires have the right amount of air in them, and then they're ready to go. You know, grain drill, the rock picker, land roller, moldboard plow. So yeah, the only greasing that I know of is, you know, the 2 planters, and if we're able to get that disc ripper fixed, and then there'll be a greasing video on that too. Yeah, another thing that normally happens during the spring is part of our field here is underwater. And this isn't as bad as it has been other times, but yeah, you notice in the March video I was able to, you know, I could have walked anywhere I wanted, because, you know, obviously there weren't any water issues at that time, but whereas now I can't do that because it's underwater here. Yeah, we have had worse floods than this too. You know, there've been times where it's gotten almost to where that stock chopper is. Camera gives a clear view of it. There, you can kind of see it sitting there. Yeah, the pile of rocks is probably a better reference for that. There've been years, where the water has, gotten up to that point, where the rock pile's at. And so yeah, that's pretty much all I have for update right now as far as activity with the channel. And on another positive note, right before I started recording this update video, the channel has reached 600 subscribers, which certainly a nice thing to see. We're finally on our way to 1,000 subscribers. Yeah, thank each and every one of you that have subscribed to the channel. I really do appreciate that. I can't really stress that enough. And that way, once I do reach 1,000 subscribers, then this channel will not only be eligible for getting monetized by YouTube, but that would also allow me to do live streams from pretty much anywhere I want. I could go live do a live stream from my phone at that point. Whereas until I get there, I can only live stream from the computer. And so yeah, that's certainly a good thing to see, is that the subscription count has multiplied by 4 since the March update, and it's still growing. That's certainly a good thing to see. And if the current rate continues, the channel should reach 1,000 in about 12 days from now. So, or maybe not even quite that long. So yeah, it's certainly nice to see. And yeah, the cattle I bought that you saw in that video a couple weeks ago seem to be doing good so far. Yeah, here's one, and the rest of them are over here, and some along that other fence there too, or chunk of fence, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, now that motorsports and farming are brought up to speed, I can reflect on how this whole coronavirus thing has impacted things. For one thing, there were three auctions for sure, possibly a fourth farm equipment type auction where there was supposed to be a live crowd, and then those all got switched to online only. And then one of the hay auctions being one of them. For the past number of years, that's always been a live on-site only auction every second and fourth week, and this past week it was online only. They've never done that before, where they've had to go from live only to online only. And if this BS keeps up long enough, then they might have to do that with the next one. But what I've seen on their website so far, they still have it set to be live only like they normally do. But I guess I wouldn't be surprised if they had to switch that to online only. If it keeps up long enough. And then the hay auctions in Howard Lake are over with because of that. They're supposed to have one last weekend and then two more during the month of April, and because of coronavirus, they're not going to have any more, which is kind of unfortunate. Especially when agriculture's deemed an essential business, which hay auctions are part of. And then see what else. Yeah, the state's governor ordered bars and restaurants to be closed. The initial order was supposed to be 10 days long, but then he extended that to go through the month of April, and then for first day of May, that evening would be the earliest that they can open their doors and let people sit in there and eat food or drink beer or whatever. And then those with school age kids, schools are also closed, and kids have to take their classes online through the month of April, and be the early part of May, would be the soonest that schools can open their doors again. And then there's two hay auctions left, that I go to and they're still going, but one of them is buyers only, which I think is BS, because like I said, hay auction should not be considered a social gathering since it's ag. But the only limitation that I'd put on it if it was me is you know, that they can only, would be that they can only go there if they're actively engaged in farming, because, you know, by putting a restriction like that on, you know, they're mostly just trying to stop the visiting, which, you know, that part's understandable, because you know, that's pretty much why auctions are viewed as gatherings, is because of that. You know, those that, you know, were farming and but are not anymore, or are, you know, connected but not engaged. You know, and, you know, I know those are the, you know, ones that they're really going after for the most part. But yeah, rather than saying, you know, buyers only, or, you know, the other one says, you know, buyers and sellers only, which, you know, it's a little bit better, but, you know, as far as I'm concerned, you know, the best bet would be to say, you know, those that are, anyone who's actively engaged in farming should, you know, are the ones that are allowed to go. You know, whether they're, you know, buying something there, or selling something there, or even are just, you know, curious what the market's doing, in case they want to sell some of what they made, or know of somebody that might want to buy some, or that type of thing. You know, those people, you know, if you ask me, I'd say should also be allowed to attend. But so yeah, that's pretty much how the coronavirus has, you know, been an impact for me, and, you know, in a sense, maybe even for this channel. You know, where, you know, especially the New Germany one, you know, with, you know, him saying buyers only. You know, he might not want me recording, you know, recording the auction. You know, whereas before this came around, he didn't have an issue with it. But hopefully the last day of April, you know, he'll offer that again, since that'll be the last, that day will be the last auction he has over there for the year. And of course, 2 Thursdays ago, they were supposed to, or 2 weeks ago almost, you know, there was supposed to be a sale over there, and nobody brought anything in there to sell, so there was no sale then. And yeah, the other one that I've done videos on during the weekends, you know, like I say, that one they decided to shut down altogether. So yeah, most likely I won't be able to get any hay auction videos during the month of April either. So I mean, personally, I really think that this whole thing has been blown out of proportion, especially from Minnesota. You know, from what I could tell, Minnesota has the fewest cases, and one of the fewest number of deaths in the whole country. And not only that, but the the worst of it is, you know, to the east of where I'm at. So that's where me and a few others saying is that the governor should, shut down the counties, where it's the worst, and if counties like I'm in open, where it's, where there's little or no, activity with it. So there you go. That's all I know of as far as, the April update video goes. Like I say, these cattle here, seem to be, doing good so far. So with that, I thank you guys for watching my videos. I certainly appreciate that. Be sure to click on the like button, and if you haven't already, be sure to click on the subscribe button. Once you subscribe, then be sure to click on the bell, and then you'll get notified whenever a new video gets posted to the channel. Be sure to follow March Motorsports and Farming channel on Facebook as well. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you later.